Alrighty then, how's it going, everybody out there on the internet? This is your boy, the Schwantz27, and it is time for Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. I'm joined in the booth doing tracking for me by Gretham. Gretham, what's going on tonight? How are you feeling this evening?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to see how this Kefka Grand Prix goes.
Yeah, so just announced in our Discord yesterday is this new event, the Kefka Grand Prix. Now, the last one was before even I was a part of the Worlds Collide community. That's how long ago the second Kefka Grand Prix was. So for this event, we are treating it pseudo Mario Kart-like, where we have 3 different kart classes, 4 different tracks or flag sets we can choose from, and just like in Mario Kart and other games like Twisted Metal, where you can beat up other people on your way to the top, there are 20 different spells that you could cast at the start of the week that will affect the times of the racers around you, in front of you, or behind you, depending upon which spell it is that you end up casting. As far as dates go, registration starts now until July, which I left the date off there. Apparently that's a editing error, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and do that. So that's July 22nd is when the event's gonna start. So you have 3 weeks for registration. We have 8 weeks of the main heat, and then the Championship Cup, as well as the Fallen Run, which is an incredible name for a loser bracket, is going to be 2 weeks in September. So that is essentially what we're looking at. And the track that we are playing tonight is the Phantom Forest Railway. So Gretham, why don't you read off a few of the things we got listed here while I push some more buttons for our lovely viewers at home.
Yeah, so we have the different Kefka unlock that everybody's used to with the Ultros League, because we got the 7 characters and the 10 Espers. And we're hunting the Phantom Train for KT Skip. And hopefully with that, we get to suplex it, because another thing with that is we got Bum Rush last off. So you can get some early Bum Rush going. And then, otherwise, yeah, not a whole lot of magic going on. No rods. It says top magic removed. What is? Do you know what is considered top magic?
So top magic are basically any tier 3 elemental spells. Life 2, Life 3, Ultima, Flare, Meteor, Merton, like any spell that you would actually want to use. X-Zone. I think Stop is also included in there. We will not be able to learn them from spells. So top magic has been completely removed entirely from the pool, and instead of 2 to 5 spells per Esper, which is what we're used to, we only get 2 to 4 in this particular flag set. So magic is going to be a little bit on the rough side of things. We're going to hope to find some physical builds and or use our abilities, like you said, getting Bum Rush right away, hopefully, in this particular one. The other interesting thing about this flag set is we do start with Cyan, so we know exactly which checks we can go get, and unfortunately the Phantom Train is not one of them, so we're definitely going to be on the lookout for Sabin. But we do have access to more checks than normal with YNPC set to remove, so we can sequence break and get things like Locke's Norse Weapon Shop or Edgar's Ancient Castle and Engine Room set of checks, as well as the Magitech Factory. So those are some interesting sequence breaks that we may see here with the Phantom Forest Railway, so I'm pretty excited to see what we're up to. We're going old school with the unlock for Kefka at 7 characters and 10 Espers, which is back what it was when I joined the community. Like I said, the last Kefka Grand Prix, I'm going to have to pull up the date on that, but it's been a while, as they say, so.
Yeah, I joined at near the end of Warring Triads, so I'm a little bit after everything. So
just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a little bit off. But
that's all right. If anybody remembers the Kefka Grand Prix, I think they're still up on YouTube. It's like watching a completely different game with all of the new functionality that we've had since then. So we have 2 runners tonight that volunteered to be our guinea pigs here. Papa Shango 53, one of the finalists, I believe, in the Moogle Cup tournament that just took place, and then Honeydew over on the right-hand side here. We're going to give our runners the the get-go here, and we'll see who else besides Cyan we'll get to start out with here.
Yeah, because the nice thing with Cyan is we're keeping the Doma dream to get Sword Tech. So, get a Sword Tech, you might be able to get a decent physical build going right away because of the Cyan start.
Yeah, unfortunately, Cyan's command is random, so it might not be Sword Tech.
Yeah. You just gotta hope you run into Sword Tech early.
Yep. Yeah, so how does YNPC work? Basically, it allows you to press the Y button and take NPCs out of your way, essentially. So Cyan with Jump, Locke with his Vanilla Steel, and Realm with Rage. So we'd like to see the Rage list here. And Papa Shango obliges. Nothing so far that I see that's any decent. Yick. No. Ugh. Please stop. No. Give us something. Come on, game. These are all terrible.
Oh, the game's not cooperating.
Oh, there we go.
What's Prussian?
Yeah, we're good now.
When it's a Rage, even I recognize as a new player. You know it's good.
Yeah, so Prussian will be good. Io will be decent early on because Io is a flare star, which is essentially a fire-based elemental attack that does damage based on the level of the enemies. And since our enemies start out at level characters plus espers plus dragons times 2.5, we'll be at level 8 or 9 characters. Gembox or Behemoth Suit are two disgusting options at the Narsh Weapon Shop, but at least we found a good piece of gear for Realm. And to rub it in our face, we got more Dragoon Boots in the Narsh Shed, just in case we didn't have enough jumping going on. 10 battle Curse Shield. So, Gretham, at 10 battles, what do you think? Are we doing this Curse Shield, or does it depend on what we find?
Can we get Ultima? Because top magic's removed.
Correct.
So can we get Ultima from the shield?
We cannot get Ultima from the shield. So Ultima is considered a top magical spell, so we cannot learn Ultima. It would be simply for the defensive capabilities of the best shield in the game, essentially. So, I mean, with 10, I think it's worth it, especially if I find a Peace Ring or Ribbon. If I don't, then I might not go on Curse that. That's
I like the shield, but I always find I use it for one for literally Ultima or two for Merton strats. It's a great shield for everything else too, but those are like the two key things, and oh wait, neither of them are here.
Well, listen, we could still do Quake strats, I think, with with the top magic removed, but Honeydew gonna peek this monster in a box here, and it is a Spectre, which is pretty easy to kill. It's undead. Throw a Phoenix down if you have it at it, and if not, then just run away. There you go. So,
finding an offering and a big stick would be nice, eventually.
Yeah, so as we mentioned, magic is going to be less available, or less readily available in this seed, with having no top magic spells and only a maximum of 4 spells on an Esper. So, we're not going to find our magic all that often in this seed. We're going to want... we need something for Cyan to jump with. Hopefully we find a dragon horn somewhere along the way. And
Papa Shango going to get the bad news of the wonderful loot of Gembox or Behemoth Suit here.
Yeah, so what spells are removed with the remove top magic spells? I'm going to look up exactly which ones they are. But as we stated earlier on, they are all of your tier 3 elemental spells. They are, let's see, let's get this list. Life 2, Quick, Merton, Pearl, Flare, X-Zone, Stop, Ultima. Those are the spells that are removed from Remove Top Magic. So, you can actually, oh no, you can't learn Flare. You can learn Meteor, and you can learn level 2 spells in Bio, but some of the more powerful ones you will not be able to access and have access to.
So anything you would want to cast, you can't cast.
Pretty much, yes. So Realm's magic power will definitely come into play here, because if we find a magic power plus Esper, we could start turning those tier 2 elemental spells into sort of a tier 3. Honeydew buying a cursed ring, which normally I always endorse buying that. It's usually very cheap. However, I just mentioned that X-Zone is a spell that you cannot learn with removable top magic. So he's going to have that curse ring on for a very long time before he tries to learn X-Zone here.
Yeah. Honeydew showed off wire remove there, just taking everybody out in the pub.
Yeah, hey,
listen, all the rage out from being blocked.
It's not the dancer's fault. Leave them alone. They're just trying to make some money.
Yeah. I would just go directly to Returner's hideout.
She
and
works
just delete,
hard for the money.
Delete everybody in Returner's hideout.
51 grand for Tzen Thief, no thank you. Another Mega Elixir. I don't know if Honey was here, because I saw he had a Mega Elixir in his inventory. Ooh.
Well, interesting. You can find rods, you just can't buy rods. Okay.
Correct. So rods are not available in shops, but you can find them in chests. We did find a Thunder Shield in a chest, so that's good for a Bolt 2 spell as well. Want to ask you, Gretham, with this start, we have Realm with access to Owzer's Mansion and Esper Mountain. We have Locke, who's got access to Phoenix Cave and South Figaro Cave that we haven't seen yet. And we have the 3 Cyan checks we mentioned earlier. Where would you think about going first? Would you think about hopping into the Phoenix Cave, perhaps, for some more loot? Or would you go maybe to Owzer's Mansion for those forced encounters? What are you thinking?
I like Owzer's Mansion, being able to check that old lady on the way down, see if it's worth a grind fight, and if it is, just hop into a bunch of chests. I usually like to start with Owzer's.
Now that is a Pearl Lance for Honeydew in the world of Ruined South Figaro. Hopefully Cyan can use that Pearl Lance, and we've got a Super Ball sighting in the shop here, so Papa Shango going to help himself out to a couple of bouncy balls, so his route might be different. He might want to go into the Phoenix Cave and then use those Super Balls on the dragon in there, or perhaps just go to South Figaro Cave, because that's a really fast boss location there. So good heads-up play from Papa Shango.
Or Mount Zozo, get the dragon there also.
Yep, another great idea.
Could you remove the door? The rusted door, or do you have to go up to get the rust removal and then go back up?
Ooh, Dragon Horn for Honeydew there. That'll be nice with Cyan. And Dragon Horn for sale.
Okay. But, looking like we're getting some jumpers.
I guess Papa Shango doesn't realize that Cyan has jumped. So to your question about why NPC remove, I know there was also some questions in the chat about it as well. So in Final Fantasy VI, doors that are sort of locked or ones that you can't go through, they are technically blocked by an invisible NPC. So if you press Y next to the door that is locked, technically you can remove it or remove the blocking hidden NPC to get through. So you do not have to go by the Rust Rid in Zozo in order to get into Mount Zozo. You also don't even have to be in the world of Ruin to go do it. You can actually get access Mount Zozo in the world of Balance if you go through the same door. You just have to Y NPC remove the guy that's drunkenly passed out in front of the door. Same thing with Terra's Check. If you want to, you can not only do Terra's Check in the world of Ruin, you also don't even have to fight that boss. You could Y NPC remove the Dataluma sprite, and you can access the reward in the room afterwards without having to fight that boss. So that's an interesting thing. There are a lot of other quirks about why NPC with remove and sequence breaking. ff6worldscollide.com is the website. There is a wiki, and on the wiki there is a link to all the different flags and what they do, and there's a nice write-up on both the good and bad things you can get yourself into with YNPC remove, because you could also YNPC remove bosses, or if you YNPC remove Kefka in Imperial Camp before starting that trend, you just soft lock yourself because you can't get out of the Imperial Camp, because Sabin goes something like, but we should help that guy, but that guy hasn't started to fight, right? So it's an interesting soft lock that you can get into there.
Interesting. I'm just waiting for the one time where the Phantom Train is one of the bosses that gets Y removed, and they just won't know until somebody else tells them.
Yeah, so the other bosses that you could YNPC remove, anything that's like an NPC that you interact with, you could remove. But in most cases, you don't get the reward, because the reward comes from defeating the boss. There are exceptions to that. I mentioned the Dataluma one for Terra. If you have the Floating Continent check in Shadow, you could remove that little sparkle on the ground at the end and keep going, and you'll get the reward anyway. But things like Magitech Factory, you could remove the Ifrit Shiva boss and the other one that's after it, number 24. But you don't get the reward from those spots. You just can continue on to Magitech number 3. So I know in a seed recently, when we were messing around, somebody YMPC removed both of the Magitech bosses, because one of them was Magimaster, and they're like, no, I can't beat Magimaster. I'm just going to remove this boss. Just keep going.
Okay.
Oh, Esper on the
very
board.
different price. 18,000 instead of the 51,000.
Yeah, so that is a Phantom Esper. That's a really nice one to have. Again, we'll see what kind of spells are on that, but that is definitely useful in the final battle for either tier 1. If your armor kind of stinks, you could use it as calmness protection if you're really, really desperate, or you could use it to counteract the 10 hits ability there.
Okay. If you're feeling spicy, you can try and dodge calmness with it. Just don't get hit by meteor when you have Phantom up.
Yeah, no, it's I always used to just say, you know what, I'm just not going to bother using Phantom as calmness protection, but I've had to every once in a while. So, yeah, we'll take a brief look at the flag set here. Nope, that's the wrong thing. This is the right thing. So, yeah, 12 bosses plus the Phantom Train for Kefka Tower Skip. So we don't have Sabin yet, so we don't have access to the Phantom Train check as of now. So we'll have to see if we come across Sabin later on in the race there. And it looks like Papa Shango is going to dive Phoenix Cave here with those super balls, as I mentioned earlier. So this is a nice, interesting play from him here. He will get whatever treasure is in here, plus the reward at the end. And if he wants to kill the dragon, he'll get the dragon reward as well.
Yeah, and I guess with Magic being out, Realm is the one on the bench solo. Usually you'd drop the Cyan because everybody loves Cyan so much, but unfortunately, yes. Magic's pretty rough.
Yeah, so there's Honey getting their first Esper on the board. I think I would still use Realm just to get her learning Bolt 2 with that Thunder Shield. It might be somewhat effective, right? Because the dragons will still give you 50 MP. But it looks like Papa Shango is going to lean into the physicality of this seed with a jump user with Cyan, and Locke has got some trash ability, but maybe he found something for Locke to actually do here.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I think he's like vanilla, like a steel or something?
Oh, that's right. Yes, it is steel.
And steals are random.
Oh, are they? Did I miss that?
I think that's on, if you bring that up.
Yeah, steals and drops are shuffle plus 10% random. So what that means is that the things that you think you will get from enemies are not the things you will get from them. So kind of interesting to go that route, as you could steal just anything. So they'll be shuffled between themselves. So there might be an offering out there somewhere. It will probably not be on Katana Soul, and there's a 10% chance that it just got randomized into something else. So that'll be interesting to see.
Bring Steel into a bunch of fights, pray to RNGesus, and hope for the best.
Hey, that's the best thing to do. Peace Ring there in Jador. Gonna buy that in order to start uncursing that shield. Nice pickup there for Honey. Got Boots and Horn on Locke, so I guess Locke is the one that can use that Pearl Lance, perhaps. We'll see what his build looks like in Owzer's Mansion. So we got two different paths here for both of our runners heading out, and we'll see if Papa Shango decides to take this dragon. It doesn't look like he's going to here. It looks like he's just going to go for the reward, which is fine. In this flag set, dragons don't actually do anything other than levels and high tier item, right? Because they're not required towards checks for skip, and you don't really get anything extra from that. So I'm okay with him not doing the dragon here.
Yeah, and you're not hunting as much MP for them too, because you're not learning as much magic, so.
Great point there as well. Yeah. Alright, let's see what we got. We got a glowing stone out of the Phoenix Cave at least. So we're not going to come away empty-handed here. I think Phantom had like Gutter Tier Trash as the spell on it, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm just looking over here, but fighting Senor... oh, actually, just a regular behemoth.
Yeah, this is
trying to get some XP.
Straight up behemoth. This is... Yeah. I mean, this will be good, because Behemoth Rage is Meteor, which is a really nice AoE attack to have for Realm. We do have Flare Star and Prussian, which is Landslide, but Flare Star is fire-based, so it's not useful on all enemies, and Landslide is single target, so it's good to have something AoE for her to kill as well. Unfortunately, not getting the luck here, just getting the regular
that's
attack.
At least 3 in a row that Realm has just been scratching this behemoth.
Question in the chat, or rather a good point. Dragons also do not count as bosses. They are different. Bosses are the things at the end of checks, whereas dragons are the optional 8 legendary dragon spots that you can go in the world. Concussed Gamer asking, can you get Merton from Rage? Yes, you can get spells that are disallowed by Esper learning from the Rage ability. Because you could still cast them, you just can't learn them on your characters. So things like Movers, either Phase or Brain Pan, or is that Blowfish? I don't remember what Merton is, because I don't usually like to use Merton for a Rage, because that usually means I'm not ready for it. That's a, oops, I just killed my team by mistake maneuver.
Yeah. Picked the wrong Rage and just something came out.
Yep. Alright, so Papa Shango, it looks like Gretham is going to do what you said. Take those super balls and kill this dragon here.
Yeah, I guess you wanted the 3 people worth of XP instead of the just 2.
Trash on both of our Espers so far.
Yep. This will be jumping and landsliding, looking like for a little bit.
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was wondering which one who's going to be jumping for Papa Shango, or if anybody's going to be jumping for him. He's not equipping boots, so it looks like Cyan's just regular jumping.
Yeah, maybe once he sees that Cyan has jumped, he'll go, oh yeah, I found that the dragon horn in a relic shop somewhere. And then proceed to forget which one it was. Or that's me. That's my MO.
Think it was World of Balance South Figaro, but I don't fully remember.
Yeah, so this is Papa Shango here buying the Rust Rid. You don't actually have to do this with YNPC remove. You can just yeet the door out of the way. Save yourself $1,000.
Oh, this is... Oh.
Ooh, okay.
Flame Eater.
Ice Shield for Papa Shango, and here is where that Meteor spell is going to come in huge, right? Because, okay, there's the offering. Hello.
Okay.
Mount Zozo, the place to be.
Yeah, because Flare Star and Landslide both did not sound fun against Flame Eater.
Yeah, Flare Star won't actually work. Flame Eater will just absorb it. Yeah. Landslide, before you clear out all the ads in front of him, has a 1 in 5 chance of hitting the correct target, so that's not fun either. We're just gonna... Okay, we're gonna crack this Ice Rod here. I like this play. Let's get this fight over with, and let's get the heck out of here. Yeah, so Papa Shango loading up with that Ice Shield. So he's gonna just throw some kid toys at this dragon here and hope for the best.
Cyan unfortunately taking a nap at the end of Flame Eater. Ooh, White Dragon, that's scary.
Yeah, especially with this attack coming first, that might be a full party wipe there, yeah.
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
Wah, 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 wah.
Not a dragon you really want to see. Early, especially honestly, any time. Pretty much any other dragon.
Yeah, let's try this again. Hopefully you get level ? Pearl and it does nothing. Meanwhile, Zone Seek is the Esper for Honeydew, and that has Doom and Vanish on it. Okay, so that spell is a lot better. There we go. There's your level ? Pearl.
Yeah.
And then this is going to kill Locke. Oh, the unorganized inventory. Oh no.
Oh no. It's always that first fight I always forget to arrange. My inventory. And then you just open it and you're like, what has happened here?
Who threw up in my menu?
Yeah. See how many super balls this takes.
Yeah, so normally you could steal a Pearl Lance from this dragon, as well as win one. But we'll see what the reward is here for this dragon. And there is a 4K Super Ball. Nicely done.
Third Super Ball's the charm.
First Dragon of the Seed down for Papa Shango there. And we'll see what the reward is from the dragon. Oh, he's still got a Pearl Lance, so... Oh!
Ragnarok.
That's juicy. Okay, so that's our lock solved.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Honey is hot on the heels of Papa Shango here, so I'm guessing he's going to get this Ragnarok as well. Unfortunately, it is a Sparkle writing love letters to Lola. We'll see what kind of inanimate object has such poetry and beautiful silk flower making skills.
And we'll see what Honeydew's first White Dragon spell is going to be, if he just gets deleted also or not. He does have more levels, at least. Oh, VK!
Okay, well, now we're getting somewhere, huh?
Now I guess we see if maybe Cyan could equip one of them, I guess?
Well, we found the offering
in
the treasure chest, right? So let's see who can use that offering.
Because hopefully Cyan can use at least one if you're not going to have him jumping. Yeah, offering VK solves all problems.
Yeah, it solves so many problems. Unfortunately, Cyan is just all sorts of useless here unless he could use the DK. I usually check, you know, each one of my characters before I settle on something, and we'll see. We'll see what the path forward is, and it looks like our runners are just flip-flopping places here with Papa Shango going to go pick up his Zone Seek at the end of Bowser's Mansion. White Durgan down for Honeydew here, and unfortunately Honeydew is still trying to learn X-Zone.
Yeah, I know at one point he switched the Curse Ring for Peace Ring. I'm not sure if he then switched it back after.
Oh, okay. So Cyan can't use the Ragnarok either. This is why you don't menu until you're done and into the overworld, because we're gonna rearrange a bunch of stuff here, right? And now, as soon as Honeydew sees the Valiant Knife at the end of Down Zozo, he's gonna go, well, okay, I guess we're gonna rearrange this one more time.
I'm gonna switch it all back.
Yeah, so what do we got? We got an offering with a Valiant Knife. We have a Ragnarok on the bench, so we're looking for somebody who could use that Ragnarok. And we have Realm doing rage things, and Cyan is useless as ever. So we'll see which one of our runners... we'll see which one of our runners find the next part of their dream team here.
Yeah, hope Cyan can equip one of the spears, maybe a fixed dice, so he's not completely useless.
Yeah, I think... no, we didn't kill the red dragon. I saw somebody had a Strato in their inventory. But unfortunately, Cyan... Yeah, so Cyan can use that. That's actually his third best weapon in vanilla. It's okay for jumping. It's got pretty high battle power, but you'd much rather have a spear, which actually gives you increased damage bonus over other weapons like swords or whatnot. Or, as you mentioned, Gretham, the fixed dice, which just deletes the animation of the fixed dice, but doesn't delete the damage of the fixed dice. Alright, where are we going next, boys and girls? Coliseum dip. So Honeydew is going to try and find something useful for Cyan here in the Coliseum.
How, are any of the...
Oh, there it is. Fixed dice.
Are any of the different flag sets, have full shown Coliseum at all, or...?
No, they are all the 100 to 120. So it's a little less than half of the items are visible in the Coliseum. So there's a set of fixed dice, and the question is, can Cyan use it? Hallelujah, we've got a team.
Can. He is useful!
Cyan is now online, folks.
Yeah.
So now if you're Honeydew, you're thinking, I just got to go find my characters. And Cyan's Dream is the next stop for him. Unfortunately, a character can only be at the second of these 3 checks. So we'll see if this is the answer or if we have to go somewhere else.
Hopefully finding that 4th party member, you can use that Ragnarok.
Realm cracking the Ice Rod, saying goodbye to Flame Eater. Much quicker fight for Papa Shango than Honeydew there on that turn.
Yeah. Because Honeydew have it popping a meteor first and then eventually go into the Ice Rod. Rather than just doing straight up Ice Rod.
So Papa
I guess
Shango...
they had swapped spots, so they had been each easier clearing each other's first encounter with the higher levels.
Alright, 3rd Esper for Papa Shango there. That's Zone Seek. Neither one of our runners... Okay, I was just going to say neither one of our runners is checking the auction house. No Espers in the auction house here in this particular seed. There can be 1 or none as part of the flag set settings, same as it is in Ultras League. That is an expensive ribbon. And we got a Kefka Tower boss here for Guardian. Stealing a Force Armor off of him. So that's a vanilla steal there.
Having that Bolt 2 is nice. Doing 2,000 damage with it.
Yeah, so you put a couple earrings on Realm, and even tier 2 elemental spells will start hitting pretty hard. Alright, Papa Shango heading over to the South Figaro Cave. We'll see what we find in here.
I guess the question is would you bring Realm that can only do up to level 2 spells to Final Kefka? Is that enough damage for you to consider?
It depends on the level 2 spells. Unfortunately, Bolt 2 is only the weakness of tools, and we already have Doom, so that's really not going to matter much. If we had Ice 2 or Fire 2 for either, you know, Face on tier 1 or Tiger on tier 2, I might be more tempted. But as far as party composition goes, I am waiting to see who can use the Ragnarok, and they'll be definitely in my party. And then it depends on what the next character has after that, right? If that next character is a Sword Tech character and we've done Cyan's Dream, then they're going to be in my party over Realm, right? Oh, okay. Hello. Magic Power +2. Okay. So, that changes the equation now.
Everything you just said, ignore all that, and now damage.
Yeah.
I know Papa Shango picked up the Ice Shield from Mount Zozo. I'm not sure if Honeydew did. Because that would also help.
That was in the chest before the Rust Rid door, and I didn't see... I did see him pick up the offering, but I did not see the Ice Shield. Hey, there's our Ragnarok user. Oh, God.
Oh, throw.
Okay, hello. Alright, well, so... Yeah, so now the question is, can I find Celeste or Edgar so I could have them use the Ragnarok and then just have Terra use Throw? That would be ideal, but we're gonna take Terra with the Ragnarok for now.
Because I believe Papa Shango did buy 51 shurikens, so at least he has some things to start throwing. Yeah.
Alright, so Papa Shango is not uncursing the shield. I see it on the bench here. Whereas Honeydew, I believe he finally realized that his Cursed Ring efforts were futile, but he's still uncursing the shield on someone because he did find that Peace Ring. And we are not going to Doma Dream. Or Doma Castle, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually buy at least 30 shuriken when I come across them. It's usually less than $1,000, and if you're using more than 30 shurikens in a seed, you're doing something wrong. You're fighting way too many fights. So that's usually a good enough number for me. It's a pretty decent investment up front to make a throw user online as soon as you get it. And hey, there's Strago in the cave. So if we find Umaro, that will be our... where are we going? We are not going to Welk. We're going to Kefka and Arsh instead. Or are we?
Oh. He probably just remembered he had Terra right there.
He's pot committed now. This is not the way to the wealth check, sir. Turn around. Meanwhile, this is not a fun boss here in at the end of Doom. Not with this loadout, anyway. Maybe if Cyan could use the Pearl Lance, this would be much better, but since he can't...
Was it Honeydew who picked up the fixed dice?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so then this is fine. So, never mind.
So yeah, VK offering, fixed dice jumping. He should be fine.
Yeah, this is fine. Everything is fine.
Everything is fine.
Alright, so this is not a character here at Kefka Norsh, but if this is a good Esper, this is something that Honeydew might not do. Because this is a little bit of extra walking past the wealth check, so this is another instance of Papa Shango perhaps going to be able to get something that his opponent may not get. And this is a pretty straightforward fight here.
Yep. Lots of waiting, unfortunately.
Well, the good news about this is that these little piranhas will drop an item, each one of them that you kill. So if they drop, let's say, experience eggs, you now have 5 experience eggs or whatever.
Oh, interesting. I guess with the shuffle, yeah.
Well, I should say they have a chance to drop something, right? So you can get stupidly overpowered gear from them if you just happen to get lucky.
Yeah. Oh, Seraphim for Honeydew.
So that's Esper number 4 there. And the 8 sword techs complete if we ever find somebody with sword tech. We will not find a character on this throne here at Doma. But we do find a 3 for 3 Esper, and that's Phoenix there. HP plus 100%, that one goes on lock. There you go. Leave that for the rest of the game there. And Cure 2 is the best Cure spell we're going to find. No Cure 3. No Life 2. And yes, folks, Life 2 is a Cure spell. Hey, that is a Siren there from Kefka Norsh. That's huge.
Yeah, being able to mute Kefka is always great.
So we can learn mute from spells, but having Siren is just... knowing that I could just use it is really nice. Alright, so now we're going to buy this, this Minerva here. While Honeydew is going to go to Doma Siege. Not a character here at Doma Siege either. It is an airplane.
Bolt 2 going to come in handy again.
Listen, with that magic power plus 2, that Bolt 2 is going to start hitting like Bolt 3 sooner rather than later.
Yep, 4,000 damage.
Alright, there it is. Selling the farm for the Minerva there.
So that might be their second, because I forget who, but I did see somebody loot a Minerva.
2 HP and a dream for Locke, and he's still alive. Hey. Staying alive.
Hey.
It's
more HP.
Disco Monday, apparently.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah,
Hey! There's our other Ragnarok user.
So Terra can just start throwing.
Yep.
I guess the question is, who are you removing from your party here?
If I'm Papa Shango, I'm getting rid of Cyan, right? Because he's doing absolutely nothing right now.
Sure, he doesn't have those fixed dice.
Yeah. That was an Esper, I believe, as well for Honeydew. I didn't see which one it was, though.
I believe it was Stray.
Good eyes. That is why you are tracking tonight, and I am not.
Yeah, I can pay attention sometimes. But...
Alright, so for those of you just joining us, what the heck are we watching? We are watching a practice race of the Kefka Grand Prix flag set for the Phantom Forest Railway. We started off with Cyan, and we have to find 7 characters and 10 Espers, just like we used to back in the days before 1.0. And what do I see on this screen over here? Well. Did somebody order takeout?
It's a spicy chicken.
Alright, so Edgar with Slot coming into the party for Cyan. So Papa Shango now has a throw user, a Valiant Knife offering user, a Ragnarok user, and Realm, who, you know, we're not going to learn tier 3 spells, but has Ice 2 and Bolt 2, and will, I assume at some point, get that magic power +2 Esper in Cyan's Dream. But Papa Shango has a lot more options open to him. However, Honeydew is going to find his 4th character of the seed here with Shadow. So we'll see the divergence continuing, Gretham, in this race here.
Divergence is always fun to watch. Harder to track, but fun to watch.
But yeah, that's one of the things I love about Worlds Collide is that there isn't a right way or a wrong. Well, there are wrong ways, but there usually are more than one way. That's not English, but sure, let's go with it. There usually is more than one way to beat a seed.
Yeah, so many games have just like that one fine line that if you go down that one line, you do well. But there's just so many branching paths in Worlds Collide, which is great.
Alright, Shadow with health is meh. But if they can use the Ragnarok, then they're going to be useful to the Honeydew.
Yeah, maybe even if they could use the VK, and then have Locke use the Ragnarok.
He's got 36 magic power. Shadow usually has decent magic power, so even if we don't find something for him to do in the long term, the short term, he could at least be decent casting things. So
Still more of that support role with health, at least get some healing going, because we do have Cure 2, but it's always nice to have a little bit of healing. It's always sad rocking up to Kefka with no healing. And just hoping you have X potions and elixirs.
We have elemental shield, so you could just throw ice at yourself. That's how I do it.
Yeah.
So, question from the chat: what is Kefka Tower Skip? Kefka Tower Skip in this flag set is defeating 12 bosses and completing the Phantom Train check. So, since neither one of our runners have Sabin yet, we don't care how many bosses they have. Once they do get Sabin and do complete the Phantom Train check, then we'll start caring how many bosses they kill. But that does skew the checks to sort of say, hey, wink wink, go kill some bosses with these flag sets, which I like.
So people do want an update on boss kills. Papa Shango has 4, while Honeydew has 5.
Okay.
So they are a little bit away.
You could also do some shenanigans in Kefka's Tower where you could dive in and kill, the Inferno boss, and then kill the Toilet Atma spot to get to year 12, and then skip into the middle of the tower. Or you could do a overload right side party and kill the 3 bosses in the middle, and then skip back out to the 2 on the side kind of thing once you hit 12. So really the magic number, if people want skip, is 9 or 10 maybe, because there are bosses inside of Kefka's Tower that you can kill to get your skip. And there you see Honeydew getting his throw Terra and immediately tossing the ninja over to the bench.
Hello, Shadow. Goodbye, Shadow. And they're rocking some pretty high damage parties.
He made us wait until there was only 5 seconds left in the floating continent, so screw him.
Well, or you just didn't know about that and you just ditched it.
Yeah, or he just died.
Yep, I definitely did that on my first playthrough as a child.
Alright, so Honeydew, remembering that he just saw Bolt Edges a second ago, is going to buy a bunch for Terra now. Did not buy the shurikens, and it looks like Papa Shango is not looting, and I agree with him here. He's got his team, right? He's got his Ragnarok user, his Valiant Knife offering user, his thrower, and his magic person. Just go. Just get me my requirements so I can get the heck out of the seed.
Like, with the power you have, you just have to just clear now. Just get through it. You don't need anything else.
Ugh. These dead checks are killing me. 4 shield from Sealed Gate. Aegis shield from Gao Manor.
Yeah, it's especially unfortunate because you're not getting a boss there either, so it feels like such a waste of time. No progress for skip or unlock.
Alright, Honeydew is hitting the floating continent button, so we'll check in with him in about 8 to 10 minutes to see how he's getting on.
And speaking of boss kills, this is a nice way to work towards that KT skip unlock.
Yeah, because there's 4 up here in total, so he'll be at 9 at the end of this check, correct?
He's currently at 6.
Okay,
now,
so he'll be at 10.
1 in South Figaro.
Yes.
I guess the question is he going to remove the sparkle?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because, yeah, interesting. Because you would assume you'd kill some more bosses, but
yeah, you're gonna get. He's gonna get to 12, even if he doesn't fight one of them here, because he still needs, right? Because Floating Continent is only 3 pieces of progression at most. He needs 2 characters and 4 espers, so he still needs to keep doing checks. Alright, spicy chicken for the 2nd time tonight. Over on Papa Shango's side, we'll see how he fares against this boss. He's gonna crack some rods.
A lot going down, but at least with him coming back up, low health, see if he can get some VK swings off. Well, let's see how much the VK does. Yep, that's some good VK damage.
There we go. Yeah, so of his party right now, Terror with Throw will ignore physical defense. That Valiant Knife will ignore physical defense, and that Rod will do maximum damage. That Landslide will ignore defense as well. So this is really nice party composition for this fight here. Edgar, unfortunately, does not have a weapon that ignores physical defense, so it looks like he's just
flare
flailing.
proc.
That's true, yeah, hoping for a flare proc, but there it is.
Who needs a flare proc when you have a VK?
Alright, so Papa Shango getting his 6th character with Shadow. And remember, in this set of options, we need 7 characters and 10 espers. And, oh boy. Okay.
Oh, we're good.
I mean, he would have been fine anyway with a fixed dice jumper and a Valiant Knife and a throw. But he would have been fine.
Yeah, because I'm guessing Berserk isn't a top magic, so there'll at least be that. I don't think he had it, but it's nice to have that option there for other runs.
Alright, so... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just seeing that Berserk on an Esper just makes everything just feel so much better.
Yeah. I mean, but with this party, there's nothing really that's gonna stop you here.
I guess just hope you don't fail a math test in an opportune spot.
Yep. And hey, it's Magic Factory at home. with number 128 and number 24 back to back here. We'll see if Papa Shango decides to go Floating Continent right away. It looks like he's zigging and zagging. And he's going World of Ruin.
Vault Cave? Yep.
Alright, this is a peekable check. So we'll see what's at the end of this here. We haven't seen either of Edgar's checks yet. And we haven't seen some of the longer Terra checks. Now, remember, I said earlier in the stream, YMPC Remove allows you to sequence break checks. And one of the ones you can break is the Zozo Tower check from Terra. You can literally just run up to Dataluma, hit Y, and not have to fight the boss and get the reward. Speaking of reward, there is Mog on the top of the Floating Continent.
Speaking of sequence breaks and Edgar, what happens if you're underground and you Y remove the locked door into the castle?
Which
I
locked
wonder.
door?
Like the main door that you can't,
Oh,
like between the engine room and the jail.
yeah, don't do that until you've done the check. Because you can, so there is Go-Go, by the way, at Velt Cave, so the divergence will continue until morale improves. So yeah, basically, you can get out of the castle when it's buried underground, but you can't get back into the castle. So if you go through the cave, right, and you go and you wire remove out of the cave, you can get back into it by going through the cave a second time, but you have to do all that walking all over again.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so what you should usually do is do the first check, do the engine room check, then tell the guy, go to Colingen, and when you get stuck, do Ancient Castle. But when you come back from Ancient Castle, instead of telling the guy to bring it back up, you could just remove the door and just go on your merry way, and you never have to go back down there. The problem is the castle will be stuck underground and you can't get back to it.
Yeah. Though I guess once you've done the 2 checks in there, don't really need to go back there.
Correct. And we got Rexol in the second spot here on the floating continent. I saw them in the chat earlier. He's now decided to go ahead and introduce himself to the runners instead. Three Stooges, by the way, speaking of bosses in Cyan's Dream, that was what was in the Cave on the Veldt, and we also got Go-Go. So here's an interesting thing. This is me, and this is because I guess I'm a Go-Go supporter or stan. I would throw Go-Go in my party instead of Realm here. Hot take. Because of throw with Go-Go.
Yeah. Some throw-go action.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Because Realm is not going to learn the highest tier of spells, right? And Go-Go can use throw. So why not?
I guess just with the +2 magic power, Esper. He's enjoying that on Realm.
Speed +2. We're giving that to Cyan. The only 2 things that are faster than Cyan are evolution and erosion, so he's getting that speed, Esper.
Yeah, there was I think it was the Chaos Tournament Finals that
that Cyan was glorious.
Started with 1 speed.
Oh god, that was glorious.
Yeah.
I put running shoes on him and he still finished 4th every time. Because ATB filled up. That was incredible.
Yeah. Gal had something like 8 speed, so everyone was joking that
was
Cyan plus Gal couldn't even get to double-digit speed. Ugh.
Alright, so for Papa Shango, he's in character go mode, so this now allows him to say, hey, I'm going to only do checks that have a higher probability of rewarding Espers than characters here. And we know, chat, that Cyan's Dream, he's going to go 3 for 3, and oh boy, the jackpot for Honeydew! The double Gigantos. Can he stay alive, though?
Yeah. Ooh, that's rough. I see a question from Drinks Glue asking about a tournament I've competed in with Papa Shango. You've mentioned it earlier, but it's called the Moogle Cup. So if you're interested in learning this game, it is a very good tournament to get you introduced because you get paired up with a mentor, which as a Moogle that was in the tournament, being paired with a mentor was incredible. It just helped learning so much.
Yeah.
How did you find it being a mentor?
Yeah, I was going to say on the other side of things, being a mentor was fantastic because the mentees will challenge your, you said this, but can you prove it to me? Or what do you mean you just feel this? Like, you have to explain why you're doing what you're doing, and it makes you rethink your strategy. One of my mentees was like, why do you go to the Opera House disruption check with Celeste? It's so slow. Why don't you just take off the Moogle Charm and grind when you're going through the South Figaro basement after a reward? And I was like, I never really thought of it that way before, right? So sometimes you learn from your mentee by taking on a different set of eyes or challenging your assumptions that you know about the game. So I really enjoyed it, and I fully believe it made my my times much faster this season in Ultros League. Because there's no way I should have been in Mega Elixir, and there's no way I should be still in Mega Elixir after Season 6, but here we are.
Yeah, that's how I feel going into Potion. I'm not ready for Potion.
You'll be fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the time. Everyone's like terrified of Mega Elixir, people being like under an hour. I'm over here being like, I'm terrified of sub 90. So yeah.
Alright, so we got 2 Espers, one for Papa Shango, one for Honeydew at the end of the floating continent. And Honey did not remove the boss at the end there, so he took on that extra fight. Now let's see.
He's up to 10 bosses.
Yeah, we'll see what he wants to do. And it looks like he's in the world of Balanced Narsh, yeah? Is this where he is? I think so. So he's going to get his Edgar at Welk, and is going to need just 2 more Espers for Go mode.
Yeah, because that's unfortunate, because he walked all the way up to K at N, but I guess forgot to go back to...
Oh no, Papa Shango did go back. Papa Shango walked up to Kefka.
Papa Shango's the one, yeah.
Well, that's a good question. So will Honeydew walk up to Kefka at Narsh here? Or will he just do this one check and walk out? Because it was an Esper Siren, which is a really good one to have for Final Kefka.
Have you seen Mute on any of the other Espers? I haven't been...
I have not, but I also, you know... Oh no.
Tough to...
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, VK.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
At least he hit himself.
Oh,
interesting that when you're hitting... I never knew that with Offering, where if you hit yourself, you unconfuse yourself and then start hitting.
That is correct, yes.
Interesting. I would have thought he would have just kept swinging at his own party.
And he somehow had enough to hit Tap Dancer once and Marshall once, even though he was dead. So that's always fun. Alright, so there's that magic power plus 2 Esper for Papa Shango going on his realm. And that is character number 7 there for Honey. Honey is going to get the gem box for reasons unknown to humanity. Maybe he needs some cash. Did he buy the Zen Thief Esper? I don't know if he did or not.
He did. He did. Yeah, because I remember he did go and saw it at 51,000, but then eventually he went back and rolled balance.
Yeah, so the gem box is good for about 25,000, so maybe he saw something he wants to go buy.
Uh-oh, who's getting frozen?
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Ruh-roh. Yeah, unfortunately, we got no fire.
Oh, here's ice.
The only way to unfreeze the party is with fire. You're just gonna have to wait this one out. Well, what are we doing here?
Oh.
Okay. I thought he was gonna equip a flame saber and do some like galaxy brain play.
Yeah. Because that's always just so sad when just everybody has fire except for one person, and it's always that one person.
Yeah. Yes. Had to be.
Yeah.
Get some nice flare procs at least though here. And Honey, so using an example of why NPC removed a sequence break, while we were lamenting the 3/4 party freeze there, Honeydew yeeted one of the NPCs out of the way in order to get him to the Magitech factory, because he knows these first 2 checks are Esper item only, and he just needs 2 Espers for Go mode, so this is a pretty smart play here. The other way, by the way, that you can get rid of freeze is to kill your party and then bring them back. So this is kind of a heads-up play, because Edgar can't actually hit Doom anyway, because Doom has the image status now, but Locke with the Offering can. So this is a really, really smart play. Until he gets killed.
Unfortunately, Doom says no. 290 damage on 271 health. That is unfortunate.
Oh, God. You hate to see it happen.
Oh.
Alright. At the weapon, the first boss down of the Magitech Factory. We'll see what the reward is here. And that is Esper number 9.
And that is his 12th boss, but no Sabin, so...
Yep. Yeah, and I think when you're in this spot, you don't even bother looking for Sabin. You just go.
Yeah, you're so strong. You can just blow through the boss. The boss is like, yeah, it sucks to walk, but it won't slow you down that much.
There aren't really any checks that he could peek either. Like, if he had, like, a quick check... Like, if he didn't do Esper Mountain yet, I would just go look in Esper Mountain just to see if Sabin's there. Right? Because then you could just get the skip pretty quickly.
Yeah, looking at his tracker, he hasn't done the Edgar free check, so that could be a quick one.
That is an out for him. And that is Papa Shango with his other 2 Espers from Dream. So he's got 3 more to go. And Foon Baba taking a seat there. Honeydew's Lock is doing 18,000 damage a turn now.
Oh, Papa is going into Doma Castle. Oh, and there's the 10th Magicite. So yep, he just warps out and probably heading towards Kefka Tower.
Yeah, level 42, you're in pretty good shape. The bosses will scale up to level 45 in this flag set, and the scaling is 2.5 times your characters, espers, and items, or characters, espers, and dragons.
Oh, he's making his way to the Phantom Train. Can he wire remove to get in?
No.
Oh,
no.
Nope.
You have
to
to.
debate.
So, you can do that, what he's trying to do, but when you get to the Phantom Train, you will fight the Phantom Train boss. You can't actually do the check at all.
Okay. Interesting. So many...
Actually, I stand corrected. I think you can only get to the Phantom Train boss if you have Sabin and if you have done the Phantom Train check. There's no way to get on the Phantom Train unless you have Sabin. Because if you already beat the check, you can go back and fight the Phantom Train boss. Or the Ghost Train boss, I should say. Right? For the suplex the train objective kind of thing. So that was an interesting quirk that we added. But unfortunately, there's no way into Phantom Train unless you have Sabin.
Water move just complicates things. It's great, but does test your knowledge on what you can and can't break.
Yeah, so let me go find this link on the wiki and I'll put it in the chat here. It's under flags. Flags.
There's Papa Shango's 8th Magicite, so he has 2 more left.
Yeah, so here is the Y remove flag, and this is the list of sequence breaks and weird things you can do with it.
Okay. Oh, so Papa Shango is checking the Edgar free check. So if this is Sabin, this could make this interesting.
Really, really interesting. I mean, it's still very close, even if this is not Sabin, but... Well, that is the worst possible thing you could... Well, not the worst. Marvel Shoes would be the worst. But that is one of the worst things you could see there.
Yeah, there's been a couple of those just very rude dead checks this seed.
Alright.
Honeydew fighting Ultros for his first boss in KT.
So Honeydew's doing something really cheeky here. He's intentionally damaging his Valiant Knife user by having Realm just cast magic on lock. So this is something that I like to do sometimes with the Valiant Knife user when they get into KT, is I have my other random Meat Shield party members just damage down my Valiant Knife user so that he does more damage. And Papa Shango definitely might not have seen the YNPC remove flag here, because those conga line guys are one of the first things that have got to go.
True. You just feel so slow just being stuck behind that waiting line.
All right. Well, I know everybody loves the Zozo music, so as soon as we're done with this check, I'll cut over to Honeydew's music, because they are in the lead as of now, or have an advantage, I would say, being in the tower with their go mode.
The vibe out to some Zozo music, always great.
So instead of fighting this boss, you could press Y in front of the Dataluma NPC and just get rid of the boss and go into the next room, and the reward will be there.
Interesting. I'll have to go through that document you linked and figure out what to do with Y remove.
Yeah, so if you don't have Terra, there's just nothing in the next room if you do that. If you have Terra, then you can get the reward. So that you can actually fight that boss without Terra. So if you're ever in a seed that you need to fight bosses or whatever, not that this is a fast check, but you can fight that boss as a boss.
Yeah, if you're desperate doing on a boss hunt, could be there.
Or if you're doing a dragon hunt, let's say, you know. Speaking of dragon hunts, if you join our Discord, one of the weekly races that I run is called the Weekly Draft Async Race. You can do it on your own time, or on your own schedule, and you submit your own time whenever you finish it. And this week we have a dragon hunt. You need to kill 4 dragons to unlock Final Kefka. The dragons are not scaled, and they're shuffled in or mixed in with the bosses. So you basically have to find the 4 dragons amongst all the bosses and dragon spots in order to get into Kefka's Tower. And they're not scaled, so if you run into one as, let's say, your first boss, you're screwed.
Just surprise dragon dead.
Yeah, this is just, you can't do anything about it. So it's a really interesting way to play. I don't particularly love dragon hunts because more often than not they devolve into I'm level like 75 and I still need to keep fighting bosses anyway, right? But I know it's interesting because it makes you do different checks than you normally would. I just ignore checks that aren't bosses, basically, looking for these dragons.
Yeah, boss hunts and dragon hunts are nice just to switch it up. Just because normally it's just the espers and the characters that you're aiming for. So, just doing that little bit of spice is fun.
Yeah, you gotta play different things. You can't keep playing the same. I mean, you can. The flag set can be the same, and the game is different every time, right? It's one of the things we love about randomizers. But sometimes you want a new way to play an old game. All right, red dragon here.
Yeah, there's so many flags you can do.
Oh, there we go. Muscle belt. Check out Locke's max HP now. Almost 8,000.
Yeah, that's a bit of health. It'll be nice to see how just big those VK swings are.
Well, he was doing 18 per turn before. So I would have to imagine as we get the Doom on one of the tentacles here. Nice heads-up play. Oh, God. So 30,000 damage a turn for Locke. That's a 2-shot of Final Kefka.
Yeah. Who needs instant death when you have a VK? VK solves all. Yeah. This is one of those seeds where you'd almost want to rock at just an Octo VK and just watch everything burn.
That's so much time. Unless it's like in the final fight, 8 Valiant Knife swings is just too much. You're just wasting too much time. Yeah. You're like overkilling every enemy, right? Yeah. Like it's faster to just swing once or twice than 8.
Yeah, just on Kefka 4, just one-shotting it with 8 swings.
Yeah, that's the time when you like it. But other than that, it's just not necessary. No. Yeah, so one of the flags of the draft is you can only reward fixed dice or offering as the dead check rewards. So that's usually pretty funny when that card gets drawn.
Everybody throwing dice. I'm just hoping for the best.
Yep. Here, I heard you like randomness. Alright, Time Waste, aka Narappa, for Honeydew. So this will be the second to last, I think, boss of the seed for him. He's got one more on the right-hand side.
Yeah, burning through these bosses up here pretty easily with all the power he has. I guess really the only thing that could stop him here is running into a math test, but I don't even think his level's aligned with that.
Don't you put that evil into this world, Griffin.
I mean, it would make it more entertaining. I mean, I don't want to run a scene with the math test here, but I do sure enjoy watching a run with a math test here.
Alright.
Okay, we'll just beat up the Yeti, that's fine.
I endorse Yeti violence.
Well, is Glue still here? You can make it on the list.
Doggo on Yeti violence. Alright, so Papa Shango grabbing his last Esper here from Tritalk. So Tritalk can only be an Esper an item, so that's a good check for him.
Yeah.
And he'll be heading into KT very shortly. And here comes Umaro eating a green cherry, which is not the same green cherry that you have. It actually turns in red. Because this game makes sense. Promise.
Yeah. It talks about like 100 times power up, yet he's really not that scary after his green cherry. Cyan just deletes him.
Well, there's nothing you can do to make your character do more damage except the Berserk spell. And that doesn't happen to Yeti in the second phase. He just gets the jump ability, which is just annoying because it takes forever for him to come down.
Yeah.
Alright, up to final Kefka we've got for Honey. Into Kefka's Tower we got for Papa Shango. So while we're doing some last minute party arranging, let's talk about the event. Registration is now open from June 30th till July something. That something is the 21st, by the way. So we've got 3 weeks for registration. Head on over to our Discord and you can do the /register command in the KGP channel in order to register yourself to be part of the event. And the main heat will start July 21st through September 15th for 8 weeks. And then the Championship Cup and the Fallen Run, which is the best name of a loser's bracket I've ever heard, is for the 2 weeks after that. So, Worlds collide for Kefka Grand Prix. There's 3 different kart classes that you could choose from, 4 different flag sets, and 20 unique spells that could impact the other runners in your kart class. So more information is in the Discord, or if you do KGPDX, I think? Yeah, that's what I did. There it is.
If you're a new runner, don't worry about signing up. There's that Chocobo class. I'll be rocking in there. I'm slow, so kind of splits everybody up so we can all enjoy the racing.
Yeah, I'll be really interested to see like the fallout from the different spells and how they impact all of the finishes. So essentially, you either add time to other players, subtract time for yourself, or you kind of can do both, right? So it'll be really interesting to see what happens here. And Honeydew smartly using the Vanish spell on his lock. This can be very dangerous. If they don't kill the head here, we might eat a Quake counter, and his party will probably not survive that.
And speaking of those spells in the Grand Prix, I'm interested who's going to be the first one to use Ultima. Just mess everybody up in the top third of the standings.
You're going to have to save up for a very long time.
Yeah.
Because I think it's 80 MP, right? And you get... the amount of MP you get is based on what place you are. So... I can't wait for the 80th place runner.
I mean, I guess it works. Blue bubble, blue shell.
Yep.
I like it. There's a good spell choice there.
Yeah, you can also protect yourself from shenanigans as well, Retrofile pointing out. With Reflect or Vanish.
I guess it is a nice way. Just pretty much everything you see on the spell list here is something is removed by top magic, essentially.
Yeah, all the nice stuff is gone. I think you know, Doom, Break is decent. Mute is good. But other than that, like, I don't think we have Calmness Protection, do we? Because we don't have Life 3, we can't learn it. I don't think we saw Golem or Fenrir. We have Phantom, right?
Yeah. So, I'm always terrified to use Phantom unless I have Quick.
Phantom is fun. It's fun because it allows you to dodge physical attacks, but magical spells will always hit. Which means if you do not kill Sleep after you cast Phantom, and he counters with Meteo, or he takes his turn and uses Meteo, it is guaranteed to hit your entire party, which is not good.
Because normally there's at least 1 or 2 misses, but yeah, when you're Phantom, have fun. I guess when your lock is hitting this hard with a VK, it's pretty easy to secure that kill right after Phantom.
Yep.
I guess the big thing with his amount of damage is hoping he doesn't tick over KT4 into Ultima counters at a bad time.
Yeah, Cyan and Realm have over 3,000 HP, so they could tank an Ultima here. If that comes to that.
Because yeah, there's that fine line of you can never have too much damage, but sometimes that too much damage can put you in a little bit of a pickle.
Yeah, this final Kefka fight is really one of the only fights in the entire game where you're not pushing your foot on the gas the entire time. You need to take your foot off the gas sometimes in order to figure out what the heck is going on, you know? So, and that throws some people off.
Yeah, that is a lesson you learn quite quickly when you're learning the Kefka fight. Don't just spam attacks, because if you queue up all of your attacks, all your offense, bad things happen.
Yep. Like a W wind into a Meteo and your entire team's dead.
Yep.
Oh god. Or this. Well, we have a Mega Elixir, I think, right? We found one in a chest somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Papa Shango going with the hit your own party strategy, but Cyan is doing 23 damage a slap. He's going to have to do a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Watch him pull out the scimitar and just accidentally kill Locke.
Well, oh, 35 damage this time.
Yeah,
oh boy.
That's not much better.
Big swings.
Alright, so let's see what Honeydew decides to do here, because he's got to recover his party. Except for Locke, who's now at even less HP than he was before.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, he's just going for it. Oh, thank
my.
God. If he had Sleep one more time, that would have been very dangerous. Alright, so here's where we wait for Sleep to take a turn. Because it's either going to be Condemned or Battle. So it's Condemned. Now we're going to cast Phantom, and Locke is going to go ahead and swing away. And that should be more than enough damage to take out the rest of Sleep. And he will be moving on to Final Kefka here with his Calmness protected. And he's going to be doing... What is that? 9 times 4? 36,000 damage per turn. So he'll probably skip Fallen One.
No. We were talking about not having your foot fully on the gas, but here, you can put your foot down.
Maybe not. If you get an Ultima, Realm is going to be your only person left.
Sure.
But then you just throw the shield at Kefka and GG.
Yeah, because it's what, 60,000 damage here you have to do?
62 and change.
Okay. So yeah, Locke swings twice.
Yeah, so you might want to just have Locke swing once, and then Kefka go into Goner, and then just go.
That's just so much damage.
That's 37,000 damage there. Here comes Goner, and Locke just has to do that one more time, and that's the end of the game. Valiant Knife Offering is the way to be. Get your GGs in chat.
Solves pretty much all
Honeydew.
problems.
Go tell him GG's in his chat. There it is there. 1:14:15 is the final time.
That is a solid time.
Habashango, meanwhile, just taking out his second boss, I believe.
Oh, and it looks like we are joined by Honeydew.
Hello.
Hey, congratulations on your victory, GG.
Oh yeah, GG's.
So, let's talk about sort of, I guess, the strategy going into this particular run. One, had you seen the flags before? And two, what did you think about them? And what was did you execute your strategy well, I guess?
I saw the flags, but I did miss one flag. I think. It'd be a huge coincidence if I'm wrong about this, but I think that no free checks is on.
It's not on.
Oh, it's not on, so free checks could be progression?
That is correct, unless I screwed up. Let me take a look, but go ahead. Oh no, you are right. And FPS, no free. No, that's not. Let me see here. Gameplay.
Papa Shango found an
Oh no, you are right. Yes, it is no free characters in Espers. You're absolutely right. My graphics wrong. Stream over. Goodbye, everybody. We're done here. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, what had tipped me off to that was I had like 4 different free checks that were dead, and like every regular check was alive. So that's part of the reason why when I got to 8 Magicites, I bailed out and went to... Well, when I was 7 and 8, I bailed out and went to Magitech. Because usually both a Magitech is alive and no free checks for exit.
Yep. Totally makes sense there.
Getting your last 2 Espers there.
Yeah, I think in the entire seed, when you have no free checks, there's only going to be like 4 or 5 checks that don't have any progression, so odds are both of those Magitechs are going to be alive, so just already committed to that once I had 8 Magicites. But yeah, other than that, that was the first time I really got to use the wire remove aside from picking on a random townspeople. It was
went on a vanishing spree there.
Yeah.
And wire remove seeds I always start with Locke's weapon shop, but I started with Locke, so no big difference there. But I still played the animation for unlocking one of the doors out of muscle memory. But I didn't get to use much wire remove. A wire remove like 1 door in Ozers, but no biggie.
Yeah,
didn't come into play until the Magitech.
But still, I was gonna say, but still, knowing that you had just 2 Espers and you said, well, Magitech Factory is an Esper item only sort of area, and knowing that you could sequence break into it was a really good play for you there. So this seed gave us some good stuff to work with, right? We went to Mount Zozo, and we found a Ragnarok from a drop. We found an offering in a chest. We found a Valiant Knife as the check reward. And yeah, that was off to the races, essentially. Why did you check on the Coliseum? Were you looking for something for Cyan to do?
Yeah, I was just looking for something for Cyan real quick. Really lucky that dice were in there. And I think I was looking for something else, but I can't remember what. But I figured that was like the last chance I was really gonna have to go in there and check it. That's the only last time I was gonna be on that side of the map.
Mm-hmm.
So I just dipped in really quick and, just in and out. And plus, a lot of what influences me deciding to go Coliseum or not is if I think I have a character that can like win every fight like in 1 turn.
Right.
And I know Locke can win a fight in 1 turn.
Speaking of winning a fight in 1 turn, you made pretty fast work of Tier 3 and Tier 4, were you worried that your only calmness protection was Phantom, or did you know that you could cook with with Lock?
Yeah, with the offering VK, I just had to watch the ETB. Like, if you notice, before I inputted my Phantom, I let Sleep take his next turn.
Yep.
And then after that, I just inputted the Phantom and finished him off.
That's it.
Yeah, the only Kefka tier that could have popped off was tier 2 because I didn't have mute. But even then, I can only run into problems if I just overqueue stuff. As long as it is input one thing at a time and watch Magic's ATB, you know, he couldn't pull off anything cute.
Yeah, so for this...
Got a lot of use out of the Vanish spell. It vanished on tier 1 and tier 2 to keep lock up. You love having Vanish when you got a VK user.
Yep, that's exactly what Papa Shango's doing here as well for his lock for tier 1. With having no access to the top spells, does that sort of influence what your potential party composition is going to be? Are you looking harder for abilities or weapons to use versus, you know, always getting to fall back on, hey, I can just use a magic caster if not?
Yeah, I didn't get a look at the graphic till around like 20-30 minutes into the fight, but but whenever I was like in Figaro and I like randomly went into the flags menu for a couple seconds, I was trying to see if Ultima was in the seed, because I want to know if to do the Curse Shield or not. So that's what I was like flipping around the flags menu for, trying to see the Ultima flag. So yeah, overall the Paladin Shield probably wasn't worth it. Did have Cyan take one death because of it when he got counterattacked by that Flame Eater.
Yeah, he got bopped.
Only reason I fired one shot at him was because he had the Curse Shield, on. So yeah, if would have known early Ultimate wasn't in the flag set, I might have not done the Curse Shield. Since it was a 10 and
yeah, I was gonna say where would that line would have been for you to get just the Paladin Shield without the possibility of Ultima? Like what number of battles, in other words?
It depends on the checks I have available. 10 would have been too high for this one because I didn't have a lot of grindy checks at first.
Right.
Now, if say for instance, I have a seed where I have Shadow, the shield can be like 15 and I'll still do it because Floating Continent has like 10 fights on it.
Yep. That totally makes sense.
But with the characters I had for 10 fights to unlock the shield, I wouldn't have done it if there was no Ultima, if I knew at the time. Yeah, while I was like digging around the flags menu to look for that Ultima flag, I actually didn't see it because I don't know where it is, and I didn't want to spend forever in the menu, so didn't know that it didn't teach Ultima until I actually tried equipping the shield. What really surprised me was you can't learn X Zone in this flag set, so I had that Curse Ring on for nothing.
That is correct. Yep. But hey, now you know. This is why we practice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Also try going on Phantom Train without saving to see what would happen. See if they would let me fight the boss, but just not take the check. Nah, that thing warp you outside.
I think if you go in the other entrance, and maybe you could even try this now if you want to. I think if you go in the other entrance is the way to do it. Go in from the north versus in from the south. But I still think it won't let you on the train unless you have saving. I think you would have had to have completed the Phantom Train check in order to fight the Ghost Train boss. I'm pretty sure that's how it works, but this is a fun experiment we could try. Gretham, you have any questions here for Honey?
No. I think you've been asking all a bunch of good questions.
Well, I'm sorry, I stole your thunder.
Yeah, the scaling these flag sets has been something else. Bosses get thick mid-game, like thick. Because your power hasn't quite caught up to like the middle game scaling, so middle game can drag if you don't really have a slapping offense.
Yeah, I think part of it is because the bosses go up by 2.5 levels HP MP, whereas your characters only get ×2 for GP.
Well, which aren't be a good idea.
Yeah, the other entrance, the other side, the north side.
Yeah, I was heading back to the airship and quickly got reminded I didn't have a Moogle Charm.
Oopsie. So yeah, what are your thoughts, I guess, of the... Have you read over what the event entails, and what are your thoughts of both the event and the flag set before we let you go here?
This event's gonna be absolutely chaotic in the best way.
Just like a good old game of Mario Kart, it's gonna turn friends into enemies as well. One can only hope.
See how people react to being blue bubbled.
And it's separated me from my airship.
See if it brings you as much rage as those blue shells.
But nope. Even through the other entrance, you can't get to the terrain without saving.
Well,
that answers that.
So try going in to the pond entrance, and then... Because I think this is supposed to be, like, randomized now, where it could, like, randomly dump you anywhere. Maybe not.
If it was right, it'd be unfortunate to just not be able to get back to your airship.
No, you can. You just gotta go out the other way. Yeah, okay, so that answers the question. I don't think there's a way you could do it without Sabin. When you have Sabin, if you do the Phantom Train check, and if you come back into the Phantom Forest, you will eventually get back on the check, but you don't get to do the check, you just fight the boss. You just get teleported to the boss, basically. So, the more you know. So you definitely need Sabin to do the skip here.
Yeah, wasn't much trouble getting that boss counter up with the floating continent, but couldn't quite complete the skip without saving.
We'll see if Papa Shango gets the Phantom VK.
He's doing 20,000 a turn. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Really nicely done. Yeah, I get so scared using Phantom as calmness protection because I've screwed it up so many times.
It's terrifying.
Especially with his party, everybody's in triple digits. Like, if he screws that up, it's a game over.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he approaches it, because he's only hitting, like you were saying, for like 20,000 instead of the over 30,000, so he can't just two-shot tier 4.
Yeah, I mean,
he could do it.
He'll get fallen. No, he might get fallen 1, and if he does, then that will be kind of bad. But I think he bought a Mega Elixir, if I'm not mistaken, where we found one early on in the seed. So let's go all out here. Oh, we're cracking shields already. Okay. Yeah, let's see. A couple shield cracks, so that's 10,000. This is 20,000. Edgar was... So that he's now at 35,000 damage. Yeah, so yeah, throw another shield, and this is the end of Kefka. Nicely done.
GG's.
Yeah, so our Coliseum is a little bit less than half for the rewards, so not surprising you found something in here. But luckily it was that fixed ice that Cyan could use. Would you have swapped out Cyan for somebody else, later on in the game? If you didn't have that sort of thing?
Well, knowing that I would need a lot of physical characters, maybe not, because I could have made him jump with a Straight-O. I wouldn't have been happy about it, but that's something I could have done. The offense wasn't looking as hot at the time, so I was willing to do that. But once the party came together, it was like, yeah, he would have needed like offering fixed dice to fit in the party.
Yeah.
But no, I think I would have just made the jumping with the Straight-O work, like begrudgingly, if like
gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, and
that sky. Oh no, wait. Doom may not have dropped the Sky Renderer this seed, right? Because it's shuffled plus random drops too.
Shout out to that Ultros that dropped the muscle belt. Yeah, that was a good guy right there.
Yeah, because all of a sudden we're like, wait a minute, how does that lock have 7,000 HP now?
Oh, Ultros hooked us up.
Hitting for 9,000 a swing with VK.
So thank you so much.
Oh, sorry, I was gonna say I'm really looking forward to this event. I'm gonna be driving a Falcon cart during it. Gonna have a good time.
Scared money don't make money, right?
Oh yeah, we go straight Falcon card instantly. But I gotta run to work, so I don't get written up. Don't want to be late.
Yep.
I'll catch y'all later. Thanks for hosting the race.
Thanks for volunteering to be on it, and we'll catch you next time.
GG's, Papa Shango.
Yep, GG's. Thanks, honey. It was fun.
Yeah, so Papa Shango Woo will ask you the same exact questions that we asked Honey and get different answers, because that's what happened this seed, right? We had some divergence, which is nice. So what were your thoughts on the flag set? And I turned off the wrong screen. And what was your approach going to be based on the flags that you saw?
Well, you needed the extra characters and espers, of course, but that just means more checks. But yeah, with the shuffled and random drops and steals, that's something I have to get used to, of watching at what's actually dropping after an enemy is killed that I'm not expecting. But yeah, I was looking forward to having the vanilla lock. I was like, oh, I'm going to try and steal some things. But then I got that VK offering pretty early, and so just never really bothered with that. But my approach kind of is, once I found Super Balls, it's something kind of I learned during our Moogle Cup where there's a lot of Super Balls. I found those, was able to buy 4 of them, and I needed them all when I went over to Zozo and got a dragon right away. I was originally going to grind at the South Figaro Cave, but then when I got those Super Balls, I'm like, oh, I'm going to try a dragon and just get going, and it worked out.
And Mount Zozo had a lot of power in it.
Yeah.
Sure did. Yeah,
we'll call it Mount Swolzo.
Yeah, yeah, really.
The ice shield, the offering, the Valiant Knife as the reward, and then the Ragnarok from the dragon was ridiculous.
Yeah, but I thought the flags were good. I can see it's probably going to be difficult to get the unlock because you got to find Sabin at some point. Or, I'm sorry, the skip. Yeah. But otherwise, it still moves pretty fast.
Yeah, we also didn't find anybody with Blitz in order to go get Bum Rush right away. That's another, interesting thing. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so one thing that I think we will tell you about now is that we should talk about why remove, because I know that there's a lot of chatter about it actually right now in the Discord and the KGP Deluxe channel. But why
is that on?
Yeah, so why NPC remove allows you to sequence break some stuff, get rid of those annoying guys in Zozo that you were standing behind.
Yeah, and I could go into Magitech. Yeah, no, I know what it can do. I've actually never played with it though.
Okay.
So, and I guess I missed that in reading the flags.
Yeah, yeah. Well, don't worry. Yeah. I missed the no free characters and Espers flag, so you're not the only one. Usually, I'm pretty good about it because I
didn't know that either.
I do a lot of off the wall seeds, and that one is something I usually see. But anyway, so yeah, so with the Kefka Tower skip needing Phantom Train and bosses, did that sort of tip you into the, hey, let's go do boss checks direction? Or were you just basically trying to do checks based on what you needed after you did your opener with the Super Balls?
I was not thinking about the skip, because since I needed Sabin, I didn't want to go chasing the other requirements in case I never found him. I figured if I did find Sabin, then I would start doing that. But no, I just started going after the character chain until I got my required characters, then went back to my starting guys to try and find Espers. I missed that no free Espers flag as well. I probably would have skipped a couple of them, but those free checks are pretty fast anyways.
Yeah, and if you need power for your team, but I saw you skipping chests in Sealed Gate Cave, so I figured, yeah, he's good with his power.
Yeah, with that offering VK, the Ragnarok and Throw Terra kind of came in as surprisingly the weakest character. Well, I guess Realm never got any good magic. I do regret not uncursing the shield. I did a lot of battles, but I never found a ribbon or anything, so I didn't bother. I wasn't confident in my early power without with losing a character.
Yeah, you didn't run into any of those spells because of top magic being removed. So even uncurse that shield, you wouldn't get Ultima.
Okay. It'll be good to iron all these problems out before the event starts.
Yeah, this is why we do practice, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about practice, dog.
Yeah.
A lot of flags to learn between all the different courses you can go to. Like the 4 different flag sets.
Yeah, I was kind of reading through them, and as a newer runner, I've been focusing on the Ultros League, and so I'm going to have to learn some things here.
I feel the exact same way. I played Ultros League, and now there's all these like new magical flags to learn.
Yeah, well, if you in case you do want to learn, you know, how to play with some of these fun and interesting flags, you can roll some of these seeds on your own using Seedbot's preset in our Discord. There's also a couple of weekly races that we do, async races. One of them's the draft async that I mentioned earlier, where you draft all sorts of interesting alterations to flags. There's also the living seed, where you can alter, each runner gets to alter 1 or 2 settings per week, and it just carries over into the next week. So right now, just the seed is a mess, but it's fun to try and parse through and figure out how these different, you know, settings interact with one another. It's really cool. So
Sounds like fun. I'll have to check it out.
Just as an FYI and a shameless plug for stuff that's going on in our Discord. But anyway, so thoughts on the event in general. So we'll bring up the event info again. Registration is for the next 3 weeks, so go ahead and register in the Discord if you haven't already. You looking forward to the event? What interesting things are you looking to do and see with Kefka Grand Prix Deluxe?
I am looking forward to the event. It'll be interesting to kind of get out of the standard zone that I've been in since I started a little while ago. It looks very interesting that there's going to be a little more, I guess, upper strategy, like not just your gameplay, but like which track you want to be in to try and get your points. The magic looks really interesting to help us, newer runners to try and have a little more even footing with the higher ups. And so, yeah, it just looks like I'm interested to see how it plays out. There'll be a lot of interesting strategy outside of actually playing the game going on.
Yeah, so some of these spells will basically allow you to alter the times of the players either directly in front of you, directly behind you, or the people at the very front of the race in some of the cases of some of these ones, right? There is like Demi, so the top third of the race, they lose 15 seconds apiece. So those are pretty interesting. And then also things like Vanish and Shell and Reflect, you know, things to help you out to not have as much bad stuff happen to you. So I think that's a really cool twist on a Grand Prix. Mario Kart, Twisted Metal, Diddy Kong Racing, insert your favorite racing game here, right? So any other final thoughts, Papa Shango, before we let you go? And Gretham, I'm sorry, did you have any other questions for our runners here?
No, I'm good.
No, I don't have anything else to add. I just thanks for having me on. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, really appreciate you volunteering to be on Restream. Can't have the races without the runners, so thank you again. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Yep, thanks.
All right, Gretham, I think we said everything that needs to be said. Go register to the event if you would like to. If you have any more questions on, you know, sort of the intricacies of the event, we briefly went over them at a very high level. But the 3 different kart classes, so there is one class that will allow you to get less points for a first place finish, but it also allows you to get at least 1 point if you finish the race, period. Whereas some of the other classes, you get more points for first place, but you only earn points if you finish within the top 8 for Blackjack or the top 6 for Falcon. So it sort of allows you to risk it for the biscuit and how many points will you carry forward. So I think that's a really interesting thing. If you're feeling, you know, maybe you were practicing one set of flags and you're like, wow, I really enjoy the Leet River set of flags, and that's the track that's up this week. So I'm going to go ahead and dip my toes into the Falcon cart. Whereas, you know, I do terrible on the Serpent Trench flags. I'm going to go into Chocobo instead. It allows for that sort of metagame on top of it as well.
Yeah. Another metagame on top of that will be interesting to see how many people run each class, because you get MP based off your finish. So depending on how many people go in each class, there'll be how much MP is going to be generated for how many spells are going.
Yeah, and
That'll be interesting.
One of the nice things I like about this, and I know that, you know, we're doing this for fun, and if it's not fun, you shouldn't do it, right? But if you end up forfeiting from a race, you don't get any points, and you don't get any magic points either for that race. So it really encourages people to sort of fight through adversity and stick with it. Now, obviously, if you're just having a miserable time, then don't. But I think that this is a good incentive for players to keep going as well.
Yeah, you don't want somebody just to forfeit 10 minutes into the run, get a boatload of MP, and then do something with it. You want people to have to work for their MP.
They work hard for their money. We're coming full circle here on this Worlds Collide stream here. Any other final thoughts before we sign out?
No, just I'm very excited for this event. Looks cool. Get to learn a bunch of new flags, so I'm excited. And thank you for having me on comms. This is my first time on comms, so this has been fun.
Yeah, you did a wonderful job, and I think we had a lot of fun here tonight. Hopefully you all did as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to the runners for running. Thank you, Gretham, for joining me here in the booth as co-commentary, and for doing the tracking. You are the real Renaissance person of the stream here. I just push the start streaming button. That's all.
I mean, I can't hit the start stream button, so I need you here too.
All right, good enough. We'll call it a draw then. Anyways, thank you so much, boys and girls and Moogles of all ages in the chat. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye now.